Hi, this is my walk-around video for my 1964 Volvo 1800S. It's a very unmolested original car, as we'll see in the video here. It was partially restored professionally back in 2006. The restoration consisted mainly of a bare metal paint job and a partial interior restoration, and it's only been driven a couple hundred miles since. I got the car earlier this year, and I've been doing additional restoration on it and a whole bunch of maintenance to get the car back on the road again. The overall paint looks really great. I've color sanded and polished it, but it's not perfect. There are some little chips here and there, a couple of scratches here and there, and as I'll show you, there's a little bit of rust bubbles in the usual spots. We start at the front here. The chrome on the bumpers is in really great shape. They were replaced back in 2006 and they still look excellent. Chrome around the grille surround's also pretty nice, and also the headlight rings and the turn signal rings, all in great shape. Come around the side here. The front spears on both sides, the chrome is actually in great shape. But as we move towards the back of the car, or towards the middle of the car, you'll see that there's some crazing on the door pieces, and then also above the window here. Not great shape, but presentable. Go down here. Oh, this one kind of fun thing is, I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but it's actually an OEM Volvo windshield. Alright, wheels and tires. So these are the original wheels on the 64, complete with the hubcaps and trim rings. The wheels have Michelin tires on them, but they're really old. There is some age cracking going on, so they should probably be replaced. Move back here. Go down here below the door in the rocker panel. You can see a little bit of rust bubbling here. And if we keep going back behind the rear wheel, see there's additional rust bubbles there. And again, some little chips here and there in the paint. By the way, these hubcaps are the original Volvo hubcaps, the dual layer ones, as opposed to the single layer aftermarket ones that were available later on. Coming around towards the back, the rear window does have a brand new seal on it that I put on. Bumper chrome again, really great shape. The tail light housings are also really good. Less good is the license plate light. I think you can probably see some pitting on this one, and also on the trunk lid handle. The Volvo letters and the 1800S emblem are in great shape. And again, happy bumpers. I did put a new exhaust system on the car. You'll see in the under pictures that I've put on the listing. Going up the right hand side, again there's a chip right there, a little bit of bubbling behind the wheel. Chrome's in decent shape here. Again, the chrome above the window is not as good. Same with the trim piece below the window. Door handles are actually in good shape. Again, there's some crazing on the door piece, but the front fender piece looks much better. If we go down here under the door in the rocker panel, there's just a tiny little bit of chip there. And then come around the front. Alright, you've seen this already. So take a look at the interior. So the interior was partially restored back in 2006. They put a dash top, a new dash top in place. They redid the door panels. So those are both in great shape. And they also did the side panels in the back. But they didn't do some of the other things. So the work that I've done is a brand new dash bottom piece, because the old one was very cracked. I've newly recovered the front seats in leather. They look great and they smell great in the car. Leather fronts and vinyl backs. I've put in new door tops because the old ones were cracked. I've put in a new headliner. The old one was not in happy condition. Starting to get yellow in spots and a little bit of a rip in another spot. So that's brand new. I installed new wheel housing covers. Also replaced the webbing underneath the rear seat. Actually, I didn't mention it on the front seats, but all new webbing in both the seat backs and under the seat cushions, the bottom cushions. As far as the gauges go, as you can see, the speedometer is not happy. When I first got the car, it worked every now and then, and now it doesn't seem to be working at all. The odometer and the trip odometer do work, though. It's just the speed indicator that's not working. The tach does work, but it reads high. The temperature gauge works great on the water sensor, but it doesn't register anything on the oil sensor. The fuel gauge works great. The oil pressure gauge works great. The clock does not. None of these clocks work unless they've been redone with modern stuff generally. And then it's got this cassette player, probably from the 80s or something, with a couple of speakers in the back. And the overdrive switch there. Overdrive works great, as does the transmission. Nice leather cover on the steering wheel. Carpets are in okay condition. They're not ripped or anything, but clearly they're getting a little bit old. The floors underneath the carpets are in amazing shape, both in the front and underneath the back seat, as I've shown in pictures on the listing. Okay. Moving on to the engine compartment. As you can see, the engine compartment was not painted as part of the restoration in 2006. So you're seeing a lot of original paint under here. That doesn't look bad given the age. The engine and the transmission are the original ones from the factory. I was able to get the build information from the Volvo archives, and both the numbers, engine and transmission, do match, which is great. The engine has good compression, as I've indicated in pictures on the listing, but it does smoke a little bit on startup. The SU carbs are freshly tuned, and the car does have the original type coil, the Bosch coil, the armored coil, and it also has the glass bowl fuel pump, which I always like to see. So the service that I've done, I adjusted the valves and replaced the valve cover gasket because it was leaking. I've replaced all the fluids in the car, so coolant, engine oil, transmission oil, rear axle oil, the clutch hydraulics, and the brake hydraulics. I replaced the engine mounts and the transmission mount because they looked a little bit tired. Put on a new fan belt, new radiator cap, and a new lower radiator hose. And then I also replaced the gaskets on the fuel pump because they were causing quite a leak down there It was making the underside of the car quite oily. Alright, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed the video and that it's been helpful. Thanks for watching.